Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us again in this episode. Today, I'm going to be looking at Genesis chapter 17 from 16 from verses 7 to 16. So I'll start. The angel of the Lord found Hagar beside a spring of water in the wilderness along the road to Shur. The angel said to her, Hagar, Sarah's servant, where have you come from and where are you going? I'm running away from my mistress Sarah. She replied. The angel of the Lord said to her, return to your mistress and submit to her authority. Then he added, I will give you more descendants than you can count. And the angel also said, you are now pregnant and will give birth to a son. You are to name him Ishmael, which means God hears. For the Lord has heard your cry of distress. This son of yours will be a wild man, as untamed as a wild donkey. He will raise his fist against everyone, and everyone will be against him. Yes, he will live in open hostility against all his relatives. Thereafter, Hagar used another name to refer to the Lord, who had spoken to her. She said, you are the God who sees me. She also said, have I truly seen the one who sees me? So that well was named Bel-Lahai-roi, which means well of the living one who sees me. It can still be found between Kadesh and Bered. So Hagar gave Abraham a son, and Abraham named him Ishmael. Abraham was 86 years old when Ishmael was born. Thank you so much for following. That's what we are talking on in this episode. Like I said, I'm going to be touching some portions of the scriptures, especially going through them book by book. And in case there are verses that we didn't talk about, you can actually make mention of them in the comment section, and you can say something about those verses that's really struck your hearts. A housemaid worked for years unnoticed until one day the owner publicly thanked her before everyone. She wept because somebody finally saw her. Do you know, many times people just, people work, people do a lot of work, and people don't usually make comments on such ones who do a lot. But it doesn't mean they don't see them, just that they are watching, and they are just watching to see this person's attitude. And when on the day of reckoning, on the day they just decide that we want to show this person love, they will just surprise them. I have done that a lot of times, and I think I have received such honor too on few occasions. So I can tell that this is a relatable story where people just keep walking. It just looks like nobody sees what you are doing, but no, you are not unseen, you are seen. So let's look at this passage one after the other. There are things to pick up from this. There are four actually. The first is God found Hagar in the wilderness. God found Hagar in the wilderness, verse 7. Where Hagar was, the angel met her beside a spring and spoke to her where she was. And another point to pick from there is the fact that, still under the fact that God found Hagar in the wilderness, is that God visits people in lonely places. For me, when I feel like I'm in a place that is too rowdy, I love to be in a place where I'm just alone. I mean, it's just good for me, because that lonely place is where I'm sure to be able to concentrate and think. Lonely places are good for us if we understand the power of being in a quiet place, in a lonely place. God relates with people in secret places more than in the open public spaces. And the dealings of God in our lives are more private than public. It doesn't mean that God doesn't address us or visit us in public meetings and public places. Yes, there are nights of encounters, there are impartation meetings where people gather together, and that is where they hear God speak to them about one thing or the other. But for me, most of the encounters I've had with God, most of the strategic things that are jotted down in my jotters and I kept in secret places in my archives, are experiences I had in my secret place where I was alone, where I was going through my own dealings of life with God. So God visits people in lonely places. That was the situation with Hagar. And in case you think that being lonely or being in a lonely place means you are nobody, or nothing significant is really happening, I want you to begin to think in a different direction right now. That the fact that you are in that quiet place or that lonely place means God wants to really reach out to you. He did the same thing with Moses. He did the same with Jacob. He did the same with, those that he met. He always visits them when they are about what they are doing, where they are alone, doing what they are doing. They just hear the voice of the Lord come to them. They just see the verse of scriptures jump at them when they are reading alone in many occasions. So God visits people in lonely places. The second major point is that God called her by name. We are still looking at it we are looking at it expositorily. God called Hagar by name. He said, Hagar, Sarah's maid. Let's look at that verse 8 again of Genesis 16. It says, the angel said to her, Hagar, Sarah's servant, where have you come from and where are you going? So God knew her. He didn't just know her. Now, this reminds me of a story when I was in school. It's a very interesting story, but it may not also be interesting, but it's interesting to me because it really got me to know that no, this is amazing. I mean, it doesn't mean that this person knows me this much. So we were in school. We were doing practical, physics practical. That was when I was in SS3. I was preparing for our our West African, exams. So that's what they call WASC. We were trying to, I think we were working on it. This practical where you do refractive index, right? We were determining the refractive index of I think it was density, but we used beaker, we used some masses, the 10 gram, the 50 gram, all of them and all of that. At some point, the gram, one of the masses was on the laboratory what's it called now, slab, and then I think it fell off from my hand mistakenly, and as I was trying to pass it to one of my colleagues who was trying to fix the masses on the pendulum, the thing just hits the beaker and then the thing broke. So the beaker broke. Just, will I say break now? Not break, but it had a splint. I don't know what language to call that now. The things had a sling, or that line, it created a line on it which brought about the spilling of the kerosene which was inside the beaker. And to cut a long story short, the physics teacher had to call someone to say, okay, please help me find out how much this is, because we need to get another one for the real exams. One of our students have broken one, and they were like, who is that person that broke it? Because I think he was calling the chemistry teacher to help him get those things. The chemistry teacher now asked, who among the students broke it? He said it's Messi Orimoloye. I was surprised that he knew my name. I'm telling you, because I didn't know he knew my name. That's just it. I used to do well in his class, but he doesn't mention my name in class. So I was surprised he knew my name, even to my surname. So I'm sure this lady must also, this woman who was pregnant for Abraham, or Abram as at that time, was very surprised that the angel of God even called her, even to the point of saying Sarah's maid. That is to say, God knew her so detailing, knew her to the point of knowing her name and knowing who she was. So it's good for us to know that God knows our identity. He knows our name, he knows our pains, he knows our experiences, he knows what we are going through. And that is something that we should be, happy about. How many times do we do things and we just feel like, I just wish I could be seen. I just wish somebody notices what I just did now. I just wish somebody was there when I was doing this. Sometimes people rob us for what we did not do, or say something about what happened, and they wonder, why did you do this thing? And you are wishing like we could just say that, if only these people knew what I did, that made this thing happen, they wouldn't talk the way they are talking. And many times we don't have the opportunity to really say the things that we did, and we wish somebody was there to say what happened, so that we don't have to speak for ourselves. But actually, the truth is that even though nobody sees us, God is seeing us, and that is something to pay attention to. If you think nobody is seeing you in that good thing that you are doing, God is seeing you, and is there to reward you. The third major point is God gave direction and promise. Return, submit, hope. Correction and promise can coexist. That's what it is. Correction and promise can coexist. If she didn't leave, she wouldn't have known that God saw her, and that God was seeing her. Her exit from the house, when Sarah chased her out of the house, because of her indignant attitude towards her boss made her have the encounter she had with God. So she was corrected and told, return back home, submit, hope. He says to her, return back, get back to where you are coming from. So sometimes you can be corrected and promised at the same time. They can come together. God gave direction and also gave promise. He told him where to go to. He told her to return back home, and he also promised that she will have a child who was also going to be a public and a great figure. And then the fourth point is that Hagar had a revelation. And what was the revelation? She came to the point where she knew that God was the one who saves. And in Hebrew, it's called Elroi. You know, some of us have sung that song several times. Elroi, the Lord who sees me. Elroi, the God who calls me by name. Elroi, and we sing that song like that. So God sees us. He knows us. He calls us by name. If there's something we are really not sure of, that we think, no, I don't know why this is happening and all of that. One thing that should be certain is that, one thing we should be certain about is the fact that God sees us. He watches over us. He's not unaware of the things that are happening to us. God knows what is happening to us and He sees us. So even when we are hidden in a corner, in a secret place, crying and shedding tears, God sees. Right? Wilderness experiences can become encounters. I've talked about it before. That time when you feel alone, when you feel downcast, when it feels like you are the only one in that journey, it can become a moment of encounter. So you determine what happens. Your attitude and disposition towards these experiences can actually determine whether it's going to be an encounter or you're going to remain there. The last point, which is the application, is God cares for rejected people. Yes, this woman did what was wrong, but she became rejected. And at the point she became rejected, God was not looking at her faults. God knew that she was in a terrible moment right now, and she needed to be fixed. Are you listening to me right now? You feel someone has really offended you, and you feel like they don't deserve to be forgiven. God is not like man. God still loves that person and is reaching out to the person in love, hoping that they will receive the forgiveness of God. So, despite the fact that we may not really like them because of their attitude towards us, God likes them, He loves them, He cares about them. So, yesterday I went for an outreach to a prison, and I was one of the people that had the opportunity to speak to the people. And we mentioned the fact that even in hopeless situation, we should remain hopeful. Joseph entered the prison not knowing when he was going to come out of the prison, but his attitude even in that prison was amazing. His attitude in that prison actually showed that he was not vengeful. He didn't leave the prison to go back to Potiphar and try to find vengers and avenge himself. He just got promoted and he moved on as if nothing happened. I mean, it was a very, very deep thing to think about. So Sarah rejected Hagar, but God did not reject her. People that have done bad things to us, we think that they are rejected. Because they are rejected by us does not mean that God has rejected them. So maybe that can also inform and shape our attitudes towards such people. We may not necessarily have to condone everything they do or give them all the space that we used to give them, but we should know that they are loved by God, and whatever they do does not stop God from loving them, and all of those things. Thank you so much for listening to me, watching this video this time around. I hope you are blessed, and I wish that the things that you saw here that I couldn't see, you could actually bring it up in the comment section. Please like my channel, share with others what's happening here, and subscribe if you have not done so before. Thank you so much for having me. I will see you later. Bye.